let's take the discussion forward first on pharma to understand what to make of this latest proclamation from the US president. We have Aditya Khemka, fund manager, InCred Asset Management, as well as Prashant Paroda, portfolio manager, emerging markets at Allspring Global Investments, join in to talk about this. Gentlemen, good to have you in. Aditya, if I could open with you, I mean, what have you made of it? Because very clearly, this new tariff is going to apply to IP-protected pharma products and to, not to generics. So does that mean a small sigh of relief for now? Or is the sword still hanging on pharma stocks here?
Yeah, hi, good morning. Thanks for having me on the channel. So clearly, most of the Indian pharma companies that sell into the US sell purely generic products. And hence, the sword, I would say, is still hanging, but it's not fallen on the neck yet. Because given the situation and given the rapidly changing situation, one cannot obviously rule out any kind of tariffs being imposed on generics tomorrow or day after tomorrow. The way things are evolving, one just cannot say anything regarding how the future would look like. But yeah, only I think a couple of Indian pharma stocks like Sun Pharma, maybe even a Wockhardt. So Sun Pharma obviously has a strong specialty branded franchise in US, and that may get impacted by these kind of announcements. And Wockhardt, most of the valuation of Wockhardt stock hinges on a specialty product, which they are, supposedly going to launch in US once they get approval. And hence, that kind of a risk also prevails for a Wockhardt. So in summary, I think the future looks uncertain for generics as well. But for now, the impact is purely on the IP-protected products.
Well, and this is just coming in, Aditya, but you're saying that from a company, and we should put the flashes out, you're saying that some impact. Now, we're not quantifying for Wockhardt, Sun Pharma, Aditya, right? These are the two?
Yeah, these are the two which have, a meaningful specialty valuation built into their market cap today.
Right.
So these two, I think, would be the ones that would have a significant impact.
Aditya, would it be possible? I mean, I know we can't push you for exact numbers, but Sun's, large pipeline is specialty. Now, we don't know if every drug gets impacted or not, but any way of wrapping our heads around this? What percentage of their, say, FY25 revenue could be at risk of these higher tariffs?
FY25, yeah. So FY25, I think around 20% of Sun Pharma's revenue in FY25 came from specialty products, but that is global specialty revenue. So a certain percentage of that, a very large percentage of that would be coming from US. I don't know, maybe 70, 80% of that may be coming from US. So, in summary, about 14, 15% of Sun Pharma's total top line might be coming from specialty US products as of now.
Overall, I remember about 20%. But the specialty could be about 14, as you say. Aditya, the tweet, the post says branded or patented pharmaceutical products. This is, the specialty would fall under this, right?
Yeah, specialty would definitely be under IP-protected products.
Okay.
Under branded, you could potentially have some biosimilars as well. Because biosimilars, even though they are sold like generics, but they do carry their individual brands. So that is where I think even a Biocon may be at risk, where, they sell a lot of biosimilars into the US, which are branded products, but are not...
Aditya, we just spoke with the Biocon CEO a few days back on the fact that they are, constructing this facility in the US, manufacturing facility, right? And the post says that if you're building a plant in America and building is defined as breaking ground or under construction, then you're exempt, right? So then Biocon is exempt, right? Then in that sense, the way this is worded.
Yeah. So look, this is where the gray area is, right? I mean, the regulations aren't clear. They might change it in 24 hours, like they did the last time. So I don't really know, but what I'm just intuitively thinking is, let's say if Biocon manufactures 20 biosimilar products in India and sell it to the US and creates manufacturing capacity for one of them, or just break grounds or create enough manufacturing capacity for one of these 20 products, then is all 20 products still exempt? I don't know that.
That we don't know. Only for stuff made in the US or, planned to be made from the US, or everything, right? Once you have, so absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, second question, we're talking about direct impact, right? Companies selling into the US. Let's talk about the second way to look at this, which is US large pharma companies, big pharma basically, the Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Roche, etc. Most of them are making or have announced plans, broken ground, whatever, in the US. They fall under this category, this exemption that has been, the way it's been worded. So let's just assume for a minute that not very large impact on them because of this, the way it's been put. Is there any second order impact from them, their sourcing through, from India, from China, etc.?
So, look, manufacturing again, so pharma manufacturing has multiple steps, right from the intermediate to the API, to the formulation, to the packaging. So if I break ground to create a packing line or a packing facility, get the product out from outside and just assemble the product in the United States, pack it up, does that qualify, under this? Again, lack of clarity in the regulation just we don't know how it will impact them. And hence, how does it impact the ancillary industries feeding into them is something that is very difficult to quantify or assess. And that is where, we are struggling a little at this point.
Okay, just one more question. Does this announcement now, and we'll wait for clarity, a lot of stuff is not known, does this increase uncertainty or reduce uncertainty? And the reason I'm saying there is even a second option, which is reduce uncertainty, is because this says, it specifically says branded, patented pharmaceutical product. So if they had to be generic, I mean, one way to look at it, maybe the positive way to look at it, it would have been here already.
Yeah.
Right? So in that sense, does it reduce uncertainty for generic players?
Yeah, so two ways to look at it, right? So originally when the tariff started, pharma was exempted. Now suddenly branded pharma is not exempted. Now one way to read it is to believe that, okay, now that branded pharma is not exempted, unbranded is exempted or continues to be exempted. Tomorrow, if this doesn't create enough of an impact and they start, tariffing the unbranded products as well or the generics as well, then, I don't know how that can play out. So in my view, in my personal opinion, I will not touch, this business as an investor till I get 100% clarity on what the tariff situation for these businesses will be.
Okay, all right. Aditya, stay with us. Let me get Prashant Paroda in. He manages a large amount of money here in India and in emerging markets as well, Asia, etc. Prashant, good to have you with us here. You heard Aditya. Pharma is the big focus, of course, because it's a big industry here on the generic side. My question exactly is that, Prashant, what I asked. This increases uncertainty. You heard the entire conversation, so you know the context. Increases uncertainty or reduces uncertainty?
I think for the generic players in India, even if you expect some little bit of tariffs, it won't be as high as these branded players. Generics are part of the solution to the overall healthcare costs in US. And my sense is even if the tariff rate will come, it will be at a much lower rate than these branded generics. So the uncertainty is that we still don't know the number, but hopefully the number would be much lower than what's in this case.
This is Section 232, Prashant? Those sectoral...
Yes, most likely it will be Section 232. Yes.
And you would expect, for no other sector have you seen, two posts. It's one post. I mean, that's what we're come down to analyze what comes next, right? Branded generic, branded pharma.
He has been hinting. Yeah, he has been hinting. President Trump has been hinting on pharma tariffs coming, and I think there was some expectations. Clearly, the amount wasn't known. And now I guess there's some clarity, at least for the branded part.
Gentlemen, morning to both of you, morning to Prashant. Prashant, overall as well, I mean, I think a lot has changed, right? There was this glimmer of hope when it came to India-US ties and the trade deal, and there was a pleasant exchange of social media vibes, right, around Prime Minister Modi's birthday. But since then, the rhetoric around Russian oil continues, and we've seen what we've seen on pharma now. So what's your sense? I mean, if this market is waiting for a positive trigger, I mean, it's got it in the form of GST cuts or, easier monetary policy, income tax cut. What could be that next positive trigger? Because this whole US situation till now hasn't shown any signs of resolving.
Yes, on the tariff front, at least for the secondary tariffs, it looks like the US situation is definitely hardening as well. And today, I guess the Turkey's president was there as well. And President Trump did point out that Turkey can help out if it stops buying gas and oil from Russia as well. So it seems to me that something is brewing, especially with Europe, in terms of tackling, the oil and gas situation. And my sense is, at least the good news from India's perspective is that they've started talking again. And, our commerce minister was here, and there is some dialogue going on. So ultimately, I think uh, it will come out to some kind of negotiation
No,
between
Prashant, what I was, I completely take your point. I'm saying we can't second guess those geopolitical developments, right? They'll happen as they happen. My question was for the market. What can now make it sort of revive? Because from a policy front, a lot has happened. So are you expecting better earnings? Anything else that can get us out of this slump?
Yeah, I think from the India perspective, right, the government has done what it could. From the RBI also has been cutting rates. There is kind of the GST impetus. So I think people will overlook whatever this water earnings are and focus more on how around Diwali, kind of how some of these auto sales come. But from the valuation perspective as well, China has moved up quite a bit. So looking into next year, given the underperformance of India, I think if the earnings come through, and it might not be in certain sectors, but might be in auto or financials, we will continue, I
Right.
think, to rise with the market will continue to do well from there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, Aditya is still with us. Aditya, you last comment was you would not touch any of these names from as an investor, right? That's what you said.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And nothing at all. There's too
No.
much.
So look,
Till this uncertainty
as I said,
clears. Yeah.
Yeah, so when these things happen geopolitically, your risk exposure to risk just goes up. And for the reward to go up in commensurance with that risk, the stock prices need to correct so that my potential reward also goes up while my potential risk has gone up. We just haven't seen that kind of correction in stock prices yet to say that the reward has gone up, in accordance with the risk that I need to take now. And hence, as an investor, I wouldn't look at it.
Got it. We leave it there. A good conversation right on top and pharma focus, really. Tariff focus, I should really say. Aditya, thank you for joining us on short notice. Prashant, thank you very much for running us through the overall foreign investor perspective on this. We'll